Let's give them something to talk about. I see the energy running out. I got a planet to run around. Okay. You ain't do nothing but run them out. No, I don't want to be humble now. You doubted me, nothing to talk about.
We got an early start.
Yeah, amazing.
I mean,
Early-ish.
Well, make up for last week, 5 days later.
Well, yeah. Well, even on Friday, we did it, and we're supposed to start at 10. We started like 10:20 or something.
Yeah.
So today's
We're working on pulling all the numbers from all the quarterfinalists.
If we actually get consistent, it's a lot like CrossFit. If you get consistent, you'll get results.
Yeah.
We don't have an audience because we're never consistent. But we put it out there. But surprisingly, more people hear it than I thought. Or actually, what I'm getting like anecdotal observations from members and others that listen to it and then make comments back to me.
Yeah.
Coach Jackson said to me 2 days ago, he said, "Hey, one of my PT clients came up to me and said, 'Hey, so I heard you got everybody sick in the gym.'" which was there's kind of a backhanded compliment or backhanded insult. I wasn't sure which one it was.
Yeah.
Because it's a compliment that, hey, there's people listening to this podcast, members that I wouldn't think would be listening to it. A PT client at Jackson's listened to it.
Jackson was commenting on it, but it's like when somebody comments via Facebook, it just shows up as the Facebook user.
That's what he liked too. By the way, he likes the ability. He said he
likes
liked
to fly in under the radar.
But the other part of it was a signal to me was, hey, watch what you're saying on your podcast because people are actually listening to your podcast.
Yeah.
But that's what makes it fun. And it's when it's, now that we have a small audience or, more, I'm going to say, I'll use a good marketing adjective. Now that we have a more intimate audience, it's enjoyable to do this podcast because I really don't want to worry about the things that we say. I wanted people to get the kind of firsthand experience of what it's like from a head coach, programmer's perspective and an owner's perspective on CrossFit affiliate business, and then the things that we think about with respect to our members and our communities and then other affiliates as well.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the first topic you and I talked about ahead of time talking about was the quarterfinals that are coming up. We really didn't want to get too deep into the quarterfinals this weekend coming up. The quarterfinals begin. Workouts will be announced on Thursday at noon somewhere. Well, they announce all the workouts, and then you have to submit
announce
scores.
All the workouts.
Yeah, they announce
at once. Okay.
Typically they announce all the workouts at once, but you have to complete them or submit the results
by
for them.
a certain time frame.
Yes, a certain time frame.
So it's the semifinals when they release like 2, and then there's another 2.
Correct.
Okay. I got the 2 of them mixed up because I was thinking like, okay, well, they'll release the first like day of stuff.
And they I remember they release all 4, which allows you the opportunity to say, for example, if it's a strength test for the last workout, you could do the strength test on the first day.
Yeah.
But then you risk, because you have 2 workouts that you still have to submit by the end of the day on, I think it's by
like noon.
No, it's noon on Saturday. So you have from noon on Thursday until noon on Saturday to complete the first 2.
So you get a whole 48 hours then.
And then you have to complete the last 2 or submit the last 2 by noon on Sunday, or maybe 5 p.m. on Sunday.
So time management is a big factor.
Yeah, time management is a big factor, which brings us to what I wanted to talk about that I brought up to Jamie Lee that I wanted to talk about that I thought might be valuable for people to understand, for our community to understand, and for other affiliates to understand, or maybe run it. We have 26 athletes that have moved through to the next level. Some have moved through to both levels. I think four athletes have moved through next to
doing both
levels.
The individual and the age group.
Right. But so this weekend is the quarterfinals. In 2 weeks, 2 more weeks after that,
we have the team and age group.
Right. The team workout starts on
Wednesday,
and they're done by Friday.
Yeah, the 31st. And then
we start on Thursday afternoon.
Friday.
Or we start on Friday.
On the 31st. Yeah. So it's this, you guys get your first batch of workouts, I guess, as the team is finishing theirs.
And then we finish up on I think Sunday, maybe Monday.
It's Sunday. It's the Sunday. 2nd. Yeah. So it's 31st to the 2nd.
So there's an overlap. So there's an overlap on that one. That's going to be a chaotic weekend.
It's going to be a rough week. I mean, you think about it, like from the team perspective, I don't quite understand why they decided to put it in the middle of the week, because it's hard for teams to get the group together, right? Unless that's part of the test, is like, how well do you guys train together?
Well, you
know what I mean? Like, it's like Wednesday. Okay, if you have a day job and you can't make it in here to, work out and do your events with your team, it's logistically challenging.
Right. I suspect it had something to do with the workouts being the same or something.
You think so?
I don't know.
Last year was really good because they had a good separation. Because the first year that we had this quarterfinal, semifinal format, that was when it was literally identical.
To be honest with you, knowing Justin Berg and Adrian, they're both very detail-oriented, very organized individuals. I know there's a reason.
Yeah.
And I suspect that reason might be just a working backwards thing, meaning we have the games on this date. We need to know who those games athletes are by this date. So that's when the last regional has to happen, or the last semifinal.
It's a regional.
Right. But okay. So that's when the last semifinal has to happen. Okay. So then we need to have all of the semifinal candidates known by this date.
Yeah.
We also have to have the teams known by this date. And so I think that's probably why it's ended up where it is.
I mean, I think in a perfect world, the team would have their own weekend. I mean, we have the individuals, and there's a week off,
right?
And then it goes to team midweek, and then master or age group in that weekend. So it's like that week off could have been the team event.
Correct. I think what they want people. Here's my question, and someone that maybe is listening that read the rule book knows. You can do individuals and you can do the team competition. You can.
Okay.
Yes. But
I thought this was a lot more like you had to commit to one or the other.
Not until, I think you can't. I don't think you have to commit. I don't think registering for it and do it. So for example, Jackson, that's on, he wants to be on the team. He could do the individual qualifications this weekend if he wanted. Then if he makes it, he has to select.
Oh, okay. So if you move on to the semis, you have to
commit.
You can't go back to the team.
That's right. You can't go back to the team. You can, and your score won't count for the team.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I think what they wanted to do, because last year they didn't spread it out.
Yeah.
And it was hard for those guys to go from the individual workout into the team workout. So I think that what they're doing is essentially just giving them a week to get their shit together
and figure it out
and still meet their timeline. Anyway, on to the quarterfinals and how you set up in your affiliate. One of the things that we do, and I've already spoken to Jackson about this, is we basically create a captain not a captain, but a manager, a quarterfinals manager. Somebody that is organized, has all the skill sets to keep people on track, has communication skills, because those workouts have to go down and scores have to be submitted. Videos have to be done, and everything has to be done correctly. Lines have to be taped. Camera angles are fixed. The whole thing. It's
a big deal.
It's a cluster.
Yeah.
And if it's not organized and you have every athlete doing it differently at different times, it becomes just a mess.
Yeah.
If you have them doing it together, it's a little better, but it's still very difficult because everybody has to start their cameras at the same time. And those cameras have to be in line with the clock that the gym might be using.
The clock has to be in a specific area too, based off of the floor plan. Yeah.
Oh boy, the whole thing is challenging. And we'll probably have, I want to say 15 athletes that are going to do the quarterfinals.
Same time?
With that weekend, they all.
You mean for the individual this upcoming weekend?
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about I thought you were talking about like all of the group. I was like, well, there's like 26 people, but
no, there's some masters in there.
Yeah. I got you. I follow.
Okay, so
I've been up since 4 a.m.
Yeah, that's true, and that's 3 a.m. in California because California doesn't switch. But that's a whole other topic we can. So we'll have 15-ish athletes that'll be doing it. And we want to make sure that those 15 athletes are together when they do it.
Yeah.
Ideally,
It's the best. It's the best experience.
Right.
Best way to push each other.
The good thing about it is there's little to no redos.
Yeah.
Maybe the strength test will be redone. That's it. There's the way Adrian and Castro in the past have designed these workouts. There's doing them could be detrimental to your performance in any one of the workouts.
I mean, remember the one with the GHD sit-ups and the pistols and rope climbs?
Good Lord, dude. You had to strategically place that right. And the athletes, that's the one I think that really kind of determined where the teams went this year.
Yeah.
Because those poor guys had to do it in the individual, and then they had to come back and do a very similar workout for the teams.
It was the same workout, basically.
They were blowed up.
Yeah.
But anyway, so an easiest way to do it is get a coach or a member that is, has wedding planner experience, event planning experience.
Yeah.
To coordinate and lead the effort. And then you as an affiliate owner, you got to be part of the process.
Yeah.
You need to I'm going to be here in a supervisory role.
Yeah. You can't just phone it in.
No, it's like herding cats. They're all nervous. They're scared. They're, they want their best performance possible. They want all their right pull-up bars and their rings and their position on the floor. And they want to, all of those things have to be in place. And then you have to have very good judges. Mm-hmm. You don't want shit judging.
No, you have to have clean judges.
No, things we're thinking about too. The lower half of our gym in the main gym area is painted black. And that's, according to Andrew Hiller, that's a no-no.
Yeah.
For us, it's all about aesthetics. Like you paint the lower 4 feet of your gym black, and then you don't worry about bumper plates bumping into the wall. You get less scuffs. Black's just a great color for the lowest 4.
It looks good
for the lowest 4 feet of the gym.
Yeah.
Ties into the flooring. But that means that athletes, when they come in and work out, especially for quarterfinals, they have to wear light colored clothing.
Yeah.
Because you can't see their squat depth. So those are things that we think about in this process. And I think all affiliate owners should think about. You don't want to be the gym that has the athlete that, is showing up on one of Hiller's reels. Christ almighty.
Yeah, that's not what you want.
If nothing else, that's what Hiller's done. He's just got us all, we're all just scared.
Well, it's brought more attention to the fact that there's standards and you should be following them.
Yeah, you should.
As we should always have been, but he's just bringing more attention to those that aren't.
Yeah. Did you see the Noah Olsen one with the double unders?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. So
what is it? What happened?
It's so good. So he and the comments are very forgiving of Noah, right? Noah, okay. It's because it's not that big a deal, but it is a big deal in terms of like standards. Every single, and he puts a counter on Noah's double unders.
Oh no!
Oh yeah. Was
it the judge just couldn't count or what?
He puts a counter of it. It counts them in a big number 1, 2, 3, 4. And you go all the way through, and the thing goes all the way through. Every single round, 49 double unders.
No.
Oh yeah. His 50th one is when his 50th one comes around and he stomps on it. That's his last one. But it doesn't go all the way through. It is so good.
I always target like 51.
I haven't seen if Noah commented or not. Noah's not going to be pissed. It's just one of those things that,
I mean, being the open, you're moving on to the quarterfinals. This is where your videos are going to be very scrutinized.
Right. They are going to be scrutinized. You don't want to show up on one of Hiller's videos.
No. It's nothing. Something went wrong.
And by the way, if anybody has criticism of Andrew Hiller, by all means, he puts stuff out there. He uses sensationalism and headlines to get views on his YouTube, and he would admit it outright. Mm-hmm. But I've met him in person. I met him at the games and talked to him for quite a while. He is a super nice guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And really is coming at it from a good place. He just wants to improve the quality of movement within CrossFit and the quality of adherence to standards. Yeah. And we all need it.
It's important.
It's super important
to make this quantifiable. Like if you're not maintaining a specific standard, then what's the point? What are you doing?
Right. It is the thing that our competitors will use to undermine us.
Mm-hmm. So figuring out a way to game it. It's like, no, just follow the rules.
And if you take Hiller at his worth, look, he's a guy out there pointing it out. We don't want to be in his videos, but it's just a guy doing Instagram and YouTube. Yeah. It's not the end of the world if you end up on a Hiller video.
Let's get a little extra publicity.
Right. So that's quarterfinal setup. So just make sure it's organized. Make sure your video cameras review. Affiliate owners, please review the standards for all of the workouts. Know them and have your athletes do it too. It's their obligation. If they're going to take the time to do this, spend their $50. They need to know it too.
Yeah.
And then assign someone to do it that's organized. And we've got that person picked out. He knows who he is, but he hasn't responded to my email yet. Chad. Next year, well, anyway, just going into that, in the quarterfinals, I wanted to point out one thing that we missed Friday.
We missed two people.
And
very sorry for that.
And they're a good transition into the next subject, because a lot of people are thinking about what they want, what they should be doing next year to get in. And sometimes we look at people that, and we do it, I do it. We look around and we go, wait a minute, they got in? How did they get in? I beat them in class. I work harder than they do. But they're in and you're not. And so I want to talk a little bit about that and get your insight into that. First of all, though, let's give a shout out to Nicole Rogers, who's our master's athlete. She's in the 50 to 54 category. And she's been with us over 10 years at Diablo. And these last couple of years, she has worked really hard. She comes to the Masters RX Plus class on Sundays. She's quiet. She grinds.
I talked to her briefly yesterday at the Masters class, and I congratulated her. She's like, thank you, but I feel like an imposter. I'm like, okay, you did the open workouts, right? Yeah. Did you get judged? Yeah. Did you beat everybody else to make it in that top 10%? Yeah. Okay, well, that's not an imposter. That means you did it.
Right.
Good job. Congratulations.
She's so humble. We left her out of the broadcast. And Kim Highland remarked to me afterwards, she goes, I think Nicole made it.
Yeah.
Are you sure? And she sent us an email saying, yeah, based on my numbers. And so then I texted Nicole Rogers, said, hey, can you open up your app and see where you placed, so that, because the word is you made it. She goes, I don't have the app. And I never looked on the leaderboard.
She's gonna find out when she gets the email.
You just love that about
it's so great.
It is. It's awesome.
Yeah. So
I did the work myself and found out, in fact, she did qualify fairly comfortably. She qualified, and we apologize for leaving her out.
Yeah.
And we'll talk. I want to talk about her and what she did in a moment. The other one is Erin.
Erin Sutch.
And Erin is an early AMer with kids, and she comes in, and really the only time she has for CrossFit is early in the morning before her day gets started, because she wants to be out with her kids. But a couple of people have remarked to me, who remarked about it is Ed Cox yesterday, because he was in my Master's RX Plus class. And he said, man, in class, she has just been killing it in class. And I think everybody's kind of noticed her moving up on the sugar wad leaderboard over the last 3, 4, 5 months.
A crazy capacity.
Crazy work capacity.
Yeah.
And she comes to class consistently. Yes. She does not.
She's not doing anything extra.
No.
She's 100% class fit.
And I don't know if she comes on weekends. I'd have to look at her record, but
I think she comes in occasionally on the weekends.
Yeah, occasionally on the weekends.
I would say, like, just from when I see her in here, she's probably in here like the 3-on-1-off format.
Right. And she gets competitive. She has friendly competition with other members in class. Like Erica Havanas pushes her.
Christy too.
Christy does. And then Nikki Rosenberg pushes her too. So there's, like, she has that friendly competition, but she really pushes hard in class. And then as we got into the open, she indicated that she really wanted to do better. And she did repeat. Yeah, she repeated the muscle up workout
and the last one.
And the last workout. And she made improvement on the last one.
Yeah, because she said that the first one, I guess she didn't get any of the snatches.
Right.
And then the second one, I talked to her before she went and repeated. I said, like, why don't you just bridge the gap, instead of going, because that 95-pound barbell was a heavy weight for her.
Right.
And going from that 65 to 95, have a bar loaded and load a bar with 85, get one there, and then bridge the gap to the 95.
That's what Kim did. And
she ended up getting like 5 or 6 reps into that second barbell.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And she qualified again, kind of comfortably in that very difficult age group, 35 to 39.
Uber competitive.
Super competitive. So super stoked. And one of the commonality between Nicole and Erin is that they both, when they're in class, they give it their all.
Yeah.
not necessarily they're all in terms of trying to go balls out to, have the fastest movement or fastest performance, but
the most
all
score.
out in terms of quality of movement, efficiency, and then score. And it's in that order with those guys. And then they do the more so Nicole, and Nicole hired Alessandra to give her accessory programming and do some extra skill work to get where she is, because she made huge gains. But it comes back to, and this is something that I told the masters on Sunday, if you're disappointed with your open performance, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
What are you going to do to qualify next year? And then I told them, you can make it just doing class, doing PRs all day programming in our class. You can make it. But when you come to class, you've got to be serious about class.
Yeah.
You can't come and fuck around and not take it serious and just try for the, trying to win the workout or win the first row or those things. You've got to strategize your workouts. You got to focus on virtuosity of movement. It's the most efficient movement possible. And then you got to, when you're in the Metcons, you don't bitch that it's only a 5-minute workout today. I'm not going to get a good workout. You give everything you got in that 5-minute workout.
Those are the ones that put you in the dark place and allow you to go into that dark place.
You talk to the coach about the desired stimulation.
Or you listen to the coach too.
Well, that's right. You listen to the coach about the desired stimulation, and then you deliver that, and you'll get results.
Yeah.
You'll get amazing results. So, and it comes back to the old formula. This is what we used to say back in the day. Do CrossFit and work your weaknesses. And your weaknesses, if you don't have 50 double unders consecutive, comfortably double, if you can't like pick up a rope and walk out and confidently know that you're going to get 50 double unders, then you need to be practicing double unders a few times a week until you do.
That's not a hard thing to practice too. I mean, you could just take it home and just skip rope to get a feel for the weight of the rope, feel your position, like taking it back to some of the basics and then build from there.
The handstand push-up workout, which was the second one, 23.2.
Yes.
No,
that was the last one.
Last workout.
Yeah.
So
burpee was the second one.
I qualified for the age group qualifiers. I'm relieved. But in that workout, 23.3, I blazed through, because I've got the snatch weight for the masters at my age group.
What was that, like 65?
Yeah, it started at 65, went to 95. Right. So I'm being a stronger master, a bigger master, that's going to be great for me. Double unders aren't an issue. I've been practicing my wall walks, working on my wall walks.
Double unders are not an issue anymore.
That's right. Good point.
Because you did. There was a time I remember you throwing a rope across the gym.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
But I have been practicing wall walks.
Yeah.
And so my wall walks didn't hold me up.
Good.
But what I haven't been doing for the last probably 3 to 4 months, shoulder issues, elbow issues, and then just procrastination, is not working on handstand push-ups at all.
Yeah.
Like I've been working on my wall walks. My handstand push-ups will be there.
Yeah, your inverted is good.
Oh yeah.
You do push-ups, you do wall walks, you're fine.
Exactly. That literally that thought went through my head.
Whoops.
Yeah. And then I had literally 3.5, almost 4 minutes to do the 20 kipping handstand push-ups in my age group. By the way, it's kipping, I'm embarrassed to say. And I got 1. 8 attempts. 1.
8 attempts.
8 attempts.
So what was it? Was it a matter of capacity of pressing it, or was it the standard because you were so close to the wall?
A little of both, but mostly so I was kicking up. My shoulders were just smoked. And then I couldn't hold the position against the wall. So I kept coming off the wall.
Yeah. I love that standard too, by the way.
Oh yeah. I waited a long time. That really didn't bother me. The tape where it was on the wall. Like I figured, like after about the 6th attempt, I'm like, oh, okay, this is not that big a deal. Get that out of your head.
Yeah.
Rest a little longer.
Yeah.
Get really, really mad. Say fuck at the top of my lungs multiple times. And then I got one.
Cause a scene. Get it.
But that's no one's fault but mine.
Yeah.
It's not the program, it's not anything else. Had I practiced 2 months before, a month before.
I mean, we did a lot of handstand push-ups.
And I skipped those days.
Yeah. So that's what happens when you cherry pick.
Right. And so, but my point being, going all the way back to Nicole and Erin, they don't, like, they got after it and then they train their weaknesses.
Matt, so I've definitely thrown a few jump ropes. I remember vividly just like launching it across the gym one day. It was like in the back room. It just was a bad day. And it's just like, this is done. Fucking, I think I broke the rope too.
It's easy to do, and it's easy to get mad, and it's anger at, and when I get angry, it's not anger at,
you're angry at yourself because you hadn't corrected the issues.
Correct. That's right.
Yeah. It's not that you're mad at anybody else. It's just, and that could be hard too. Like if you're a newer coach and you're training somebody that's, been around longer, and then they see you having a hard time with double unders, it's like, I know what to do. It's not happening.
Yes, that's right.
Don't take it personal.
That's where the coach needs to walk away.
Yeah. Just give them space.
Just give them space. Let them go through the temperature because they're having a learning moment.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so going back to what can I do next year?
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, for next year, I know that, I don't want any holes in my game. So I'm going to do extra work. I'm going to show up and this is something I've tried to make a point of going into the open, is go to the days that you don't want to go.
Yeah.
So I don't like thrusters.
Mm-hmm.
I avoid them, but every time we had thrusters, dumbbell thrusters,
I made it a point to come.
I made it a point to come.
It's good.
And I would tell other people, do the same thing. Come on the days that you don't want to come. Don't hide from your weaknesses. And then take a little bit of time at home, in the gym, after class, especially when you're tired, on some of these skill sets, and practice those skill sets.
It's just practice. It's not, don't drill it into your head. Like, because when we refer to practice, it's like you're practicing under a lower intensity. Yeah, you might be a little fatigued coming off of a workout, but just make sure that you're able to maintain control of the pattern, whether it's a handstand push-up, a barbell movement, a gymnastics movement. Like, it's just, you have to be able to control good movement control patterns, so that way it transfers over to good movement.
Right. What he's saying basically is, don't practice bad habits.
Yeah.
And the other thing I would tell people is, because I see a lot of this in CrossFit, if other CrossFit affiliate owners see this too. A lot of people think, if I'm going to get better, I need to do another Metcon.
Yeah. More is not better.
More is not better. Well, I talked about this yesterday with CrossFit North Vacaville, when we got to go down and watch a display of, I forget which year it was, but it was the final workout, open workout, and it was down in Santa Cruz. It was Annie Thorsdottir, Graham Holmberg, Jason Kalipa, all the ex-champs.
Yeah,
Sam Briggs.
That was in San Francisco.
And Rich Froning. Oh, that was
the Keysar.
Yeah, that's the Keysar. Yeah, that's right. And they made lanes for him, and it was 21, 50,
it's 27, 21, 59.
Thrusters,
down to 6 and 3, I think. Thrusters and
burpees,
bar facing burpees.
Bar facing burpees.
That was the first time oriented workout, or task oriented workout. And remember, they didn't have a time cap.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah, that's right. I do remember that. Oof, yeah, I remember those hour-long.
So long heats.
But anyway, so going back to that workout, watching that workout for me was the first real moment in kind of CrossFit competition where I understood the benefits of virtuosity, and efficiency, as I watched Kalipa, Graham Holmberg, Sam Briggs, Annie Thorsdottir all take off hard and fast, super confident, moving well themselves. But Rich Froning was literally kind of in the middle or the back of the pack to start, but watching him creep up slowly throughout that workout to finish first in that workout by a pretty good margin as he passed everybody. But his movement patterns never changed. Yeah. As he popped up for the burpee, he didn't even have to, every time he popped up for the burpee, he never had to take a step. He just jumped up, went over the bar, turned, dropped.
Super consistent and strategic that way too.
All the way through. The virtuosity movement. Virtuosity just wins the day. Yeah. And so many of our members instead are more focused on wanting, and a lot of new members especially, they want that long beat down workout. They want multiple Metcons. Yeah. They want to feel fatigued. They want to feel tired. And I get that. And certainly those things can help with your metabolic conditioning. But if you're doing it with crappy movement, you are not you're not doing yourself a service. You're
No.
really doing way more work than other people. And then when it comes to the open, what happens at the open? You get judged.
Yep. You're having to uphold standards because when you just, like you said, just move like shit.
Right.
It's not consistent.
Right. Especially when you get tired and then you can't hit the wall ball target or you can't get your chin over the bar, or you
may not even realize that you're not hitting depth because you're not even thinking about it.
That's the biggest one.
Yeah, that's a big one.
The other one I saw was the burpee pull-ups when people wouldn't, their chest would hit the ground.
Yeah.
So they drop to the ground and then just get right back up. Wait a minute. Got to go all the way to the ground. And then you get a no rep on a big long movement like that. That's painful. That's multiple seconds.
Yeah. And energy.
Right.
Wasted
energy. Next year, what can people focus on?
I would say like for next year, and even just in general for your own, and we've talked about this in the past too, working the full range of motion. Not only is it preparing you for what you're going to see in a competition environment, but you're also working more of a balance of the whole system, right? Like if you're squatting to just above parallel, you're not really going to be recruiting the same muscles in that backside in your posterior chain. You're going to become very quad dominant. And eventually your knees are going to start getting hot because you're not utilizing your hamstrings and glutes the same way. Pull-ups the same way. If you're pulling your chin to the bar versus pulling your chin over the bar, you're relying on your bicep to do most of the work and you're not going core through extremity in these patterns.
That's actually a problem that I had with that one right there.
On the burpees specifically?
No, on pull-ups.
Okay.
Chin over the bar.
Yeah.
I was getting close, but then I was having trouble with chest to bars.
Yeah. And so when we do chest to bar pull-ups programmed in class, I'm always emphasizing, like, if you need to scale, don't scale to just a chin over bar.
Yes.
Scale, use a band, do jumping chest to bar. Go through the full range of motion, that full scapular retraction as you go to touch the chest, because there's a range of motion that you're missing if you're not doing that.
So I do ring rows to improve upon that. And I think it was you I talked to, but it's ring rows, and then I use a band for strict pull-ups.
Strict, yeah.
And worked on pulling my chin all the way over the bar, doing sets of those. And that's what I would do as accessory work at, in the open gym. And those answers, or what should I do? They're either, you can Google them online, or even better, just ask one of your coaches.
Yeah.
How do I get better at?
I think that's probably one of the more underutilized aspects. If you're just coming in for ClassFit and it's like you don't have time to do extra, like maybe spend some time talking to your coach and maybe see about setting up a private, just to kind of, what is it that I'm having a problem with, why I can't do this.
Nicole Rogers signed up, did PTs with Alessandra Pacelli, and then got accessory programming from her. And a number of our athletes have done that.
Yeah.
Corey Hummel.
Yeah.
Carrie Hummel.
Carrie Hummel, yeah.
Carrie Hummel has done that. That guy's making huge improvements.
Yeah. We spent some time together, primarily working on his squat.
Yeah.
Because he's got a knee thing. He's got a really big knee issue. And we transitioned him into a low. He's also got some overhead work.
Right.
So we transitioned into a low bar squat to work as more of an accessory to build up the posterior chain so he can get below parallel and use that backside. Yeah. Right. But at the same time, because we're working on that low bar, we also got something out of his shoulders because of the position that is required. So once again, leverage your coaches. Ask.
Again, I'm thinking of athletes that made it. Mark Mooney too. Yeah. Mark Mooney's another one that he comes in, he does moves well in class, but then if you walk around open gym on some days, on the weekends, especially, he'll be in here grinding, working on, for him, it was, he wanted to get stronger. So he's worked on his strength big time, and he's gotten much stronger.
Yeah.
And the same holds true for Yvonne, who spends a lot of time doing accessory work.
Yep.
And all the mobility stuff. So those are the things you have to do. You can get there doing class.
Yeah.
You can 100%. But your focus needs to be on virtuosity first, then intensity.
Yeah.
And if you have trouble with virtuosity of some of the movements, especially the gymnastics movements, double unders, those things should not be holding you up.
No. If you're looking to move it on to quarterfinals,
those things at a minimum,
that should be an active recovery.
It's just practice. That's right.
Like double unders should be an active recovery.
The strength stuff's harder to get around. You're going to have to come in and
the strength takes more time to develop.
That's
too, right?
So,
if you are doing ClassFit, especially with, PR's progressive programming, you're going to prioritize those primary, secondary, and skill strength, because that's all periodized leading into the open.
Yeah. It kind of brings me to my next topic, which is the affiliate CrossFit North Vacaville.
Yeah.
Because the new owners are there, Sarah Settlemar and her husband Perry, and their coach their head coach Sarah Howard, are embarking upon a path of working on virtuosity into intensity, and helping to educate their community on that process. And that's a very difficult thing. If your community has been in a more is better type mentality, longer Metcons are better. I need the 20-minute, 30-minute Metcons. I need multiple Metcons. I need to be grinded. It's tough to make that transition. We've had to make that transition with our community. And it's a slow, long education process. And I applaud them for taking the responsibility, because it's better for CrossFit.
It's really what it is. It's a big responsibility.
It's a big responsibility. Taking responsibility for themselves, taking ownership of it, and then delivering it to the customers without worrying about what their customers are going to say about them.
Yeah.
And we met with them on Sunday. Had a, I don't know, met almost 2 hours, because you were with them for an hour and 15, and I was with them for 45 minutes with you guys. So I'm excited to see the results. I want to see what their results are with their members. They're gonna lose a few members, and they're gonna leave and go, no, I want those long grindy Metcons. And my message to other affiliates or other owners out there: let those people go.
Yeah,
they do not benefit your community. You want members that understand the value of virtuosity and proper movement that translates over to life.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, very, very few of us are ever going to go to the games, and there's an even smaller percentage that are going to make anything out of it.
Yeah.
Ideally, the result that we get from this is better quality of life.
Mm-hmm.
You want to not throw your back out when you go to take a 20-pound turkey out of the oven. You need to learn to move better. You want to, pick up your kid that's, running across the room or about to head out the front door, and you got to scoop them up. You want to be able to move quickly, efficiently, and pick them up confidently. There's a lot of applications just in life that this translates to, and virtuosity of movement is trumps
it's key.
Intensity every day.
Yeah.
The intensity will get you through the freak snowstorm on your hiking trip, when
it'll prepare you for the unknown, right?
For the unknown. But virtuosity is going to save the day 99% of the time.
Yeah.
So my hat's off to CrossFit North Vacaville and that crew. You guys, if you're a member there and you're listening to this podcast, I will tell you, be patient with Sarah and Perry. Those guys are on it, and we're going to help them.
Yeah. That's
going to be a very, very,
they're on a good path now.
They're on a very good path, and it's going to be a very successful affiliate with awesome coaches and great classes. Speaking of affiliates, I wanted to bring another one up that's been kind of going through a rough time, and I don't even know how to really address this issue. And I told her this. So Danielle is the owner out there, Danielle Rapkin, at CrossFit Golden Gate in San Francisco, and she's in a tough area. She had to move because of landlord issues during the pandemic. So she negotiated with the landlord essentially to be out of the lease, and she moved into a kind of a cool spot. And she's near the Mission District, but that's where the big buildings are, where she can drop weights and make noise.
Yeah.
But she had a rough go of the pandemic. San Francisco was much stricter with access and
everything.
Yeah. And then on top of it, she had major homelessness issues. Yeah. With homeless for, camping or outside on doorsteps, the litter, the needles, all of that stuff that she had to deal with. And now the new thing that she's dealing with is being attacked by. So she shows up, she's got, it's tough to hire coaches there in San Francisco. A lot of people have left San Francisco. A lot of her customers have moved out of San Francisco because of how difficult it is there.
Yeah.
Especially during the pandemic. And now she's dealing with vandalism on just an epic scale. Like, it keeps coming. She paints over it, the tagging. Do you have that?
She's actually painting over that?
Yeah, she's painting over it, and then it just gets tagged again. And then this time what's really brutal is they did the windows, and it's like you can't paint over your windows to take it off. And she's gone to Twitter to post about it. And there's a lot of sympathy. There's a few gross comments, of course, as there always is.
So this is CrossFit Golden Gate.
Yeah, this is Golden Gate. And this is regular. This is not
I can't believe that she's having to paint.
Yeah, look at this one. Stuff. And what's brutal is they go to her windows and do this stuff. And so she paints over it. And it's relentless. And it happens about 1:30 in the morning. She's reported it to the police multiple times. Nothing gets done. It's very difficult to stop. These kids come through and they do it. And they've targeted. They've clearly, this one here, this is the one that breaks my heart. Because it's like, as an owner, you're like, oh. Like
I couldn't even imagine having to deal with this.
Well, the reason why the glass is bad is because you see it from the inside.
Yeah. Yeah, you could be in there grabbing weights and somebody's outside just tagging away.
Yeah. But you're looking at it. Having to see it, and to get it off, it's razor blades and it's etched into the glass. It's brutal. Yeah, show that one there of the kids doing it.
Oh, this is a
yeah, right there. See the picture? The kids. Yeah, that's them doing it at 1:30 in the morning. Multiple kids.
Unreal.
Yeah. And so this is San Francisco, and this is an affiliate owner. And I would say if anybody here has a solution for how you deal with this, I think there's paint. There's on the paint, she can put a kind of an anti-tagging sealant on there so that it's easy to wash off. It comes off
like
easier.
A dry erase kind of wipe off.
Yeah. It's like a clear coat, that you can put on there that the paint doesn't stick to as well, so that you can use a pressure washer and it'll come right off. But again, that's added added work.
I mean, it's like you come in and turn on the lights and you got to go out and spray wash.
Right. So you got to spend an extra hour at some point in your day to clean the surface to be able to do business in San Francisco. And it's brutal. And if you read through her Twitter, you can follow her on Twitter at Dara Rabkin. It's DERABIKN, Dara Rabkin. BKN. Oh yeah.
That's where I couldn't find her.
Okay. Follow her and you can see the story, and then you can reach out to her. And if anybody, all I'm asking for from this podcast, if anybody has a solution to that, multiple people said, hey, put a mural. Well, a mural's like a minimum $10,000 minimum.
Yeah. And then you're going to have somebody paint over the mural.
They'll deface the mural.
Yeah.
Like the mural is that's not
a good solution.
It's amazing to me in the comments that's what people think. Oh, just do a cool street graffiti logo. And there's multiple levels of wrongness with that.
Yeah.
Right. First of all, that comment says, hey, the taggers and graffiti artists get to determine what we put on our walls of our city.
Yeah.
So give them what they want. Give them a graffiti. And I'm not saying anything about graffiti art. I've had graffiti art here.
Oh, it's awesome.
Amazing in the right place.
Yeah.
But it may not be something that you want on the outside of your business.
Yeah.
It's not up to the graffiti artist to determine what we all have to look at every day. Maybe there's a lot of people that don't want to look at graffiti art.
And let's be real. This, in my opinion, is not fucking art.
Right.
That's just straight
and they'll ruin it.
That's straight tagging.
Right.
That's not even art.
And the second thing is just like you give in to the taggers. It's
no.
That's just it.
Like I said, I don't even.
It's frustrating.
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine having to deal with that.
No, at Diablo, if it happened here at Diablo, I'd take it so personal because this place is so important to me. We do so many good things here, and we help so many people in a lot of ways, and we give back to the community often, and so does Danielle, and we're trying to do the right thing and do a good thing for people and be a resource for health and fitness and mental health. And you get attacked like this, it's hard to not take it personal. It's hard. Like when Danielle says, yeah, it's hard for me to come in, like breaks my heart because of me too. Like I'd look at that, like I don't know what to tell you. The first time I haven't been able to really give an affiliate owner kind of like, hey, here's what you do.
I don't know. This is this is just a crazy dumb idea, but like, what about like leaving a sign up to the taggers and be like, hey, listen,
right.
Text me or leave a message here and let's work out something. Like, I don't know. I couldn't even imagine having to deal with that.
Someone did post that in Oakland. People pay someone to do a nice mural because technically it's respect and the taggers will leave it alone. It's worked pretty well in Chinatown. And I get that. That's interesting.
But it's not that's an added expense to a business.
Well, it is, right? So that's $10,000-$15,000. And it's worked well. So we're having to accommodate like that concept. While I love graffiti art and I think it's cool. But what you're saying is like that's like, I don't know, it's like we're changing our business and our environment to accommodate the people that are breaking the fucking law.
Yeah. That are disrespecting your business.
That are violating that are violating our rights. So we're trying to accommodate people that are violating our rights.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It's akin to, and this one's probably going to be the part of my podcast that's going to get cut and reproduced, but it's akin to saying, hey, if you don't want to get harassed as a woman, don't dress in sexy clothes.
It's a really good point.
Wear something
very similar.
Wear something that's, so that's not so sexy. And then you won't get those types of comments.
Yeah.
It's almost exactly the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. Yeah, but murals are awesome.
I mean, we've had,
it may be what she has to do, by the way, at the end of the day, but still.
Yeah.
It breaks my heart. If you reach out to Danielle at the CrossFit Golden Gate and either give her your support, thumbs up, or may have to, depending upon what her solution is. She's got replacing the windows is like, she said $5,000 like to replace the windows. So apparently they use some stuff.
Not the landlord.
No, not the landlord. Landlords. Yeah. They etch into the glass too. By the way, man. They do etching in the glass.
Like a
they must use something to etch the glass.
They might. So what's it called? It's like a chemical etch. Like if you put a chemical etch up on there, it dissolves into the glass.
Yeah,
they're actually doing a chemical etch.
Yeah, well, she said they etched into the glass.
Fuck. It's like equivalent to like a sandblast, right?
Yeah.
That sucks.
There's a solution
somehow, hopefully.
Yeah. Anyway, last thing I wanted to talk about was really cool because it was a cool podcast. It was I've been a Huberman fanboy for the last 6 months, as his content has just been so on point with everything we're doing.
Really good stuff.
It's really good stuff. His series with Andy Galpin, and
it was
I can't
way
stop
back in
listening
the
to
last 6 months.
So I apologize in advance. I'm a fanboy. And his last one that I'm listening to was on how much water you should drink. And when the bonus content in that episode, if you get to that episode, is he talks about cold immersion.
Yeah.
In a new study that's come out, because there's been some debate as to whether or not it's bro science or whether there's some actual benefits, but a good study that came out of let's say Sweden, but it's not. I think it was a Nordic country. But anyway, demonstrated that 11 minutes combined
a week,
either cold shower or cold immersion. And the cold immersion they did at like 40 degrees, like 38, 39 degrees.
Neck high.
Cold showers they did at 50. Yeah, neck high.
Yeah.
And it showed significant benefits in terms of dopamine, serotonin response, so mood altering. Letting yourself, not taking a hot shower after, by the way, letting yourself warm up. Naturally. That was important naturally. Yeah.
That makes sense. So what you're saying is don't go from the cold water and jump into the sauna.
Hot sauna, which I've been doing. And
I know there's a lot of other people that have been doing it too.
Oh yeah. So you did the best effects of the cold plunge is letting yourself warm up naturally.
Yeah.
And then the other thing was in terms of fat loss, it showed the production of brown fat, which is brown fat is one of the indicators of fat burning or fat burning cells essentially. And so that was cool too. It's pretty interesting. So I would listen to that Huberman podcast for the cold immersion stuff, but he has a whole episode dedicated to that, which I haven't heard yet.
I started it. I haven't gone all the way through it.
So coming back to the water though, he talks about how much water to consume. And he talks about one, how much in a day you need to consume. And that's usually about an ounce of water per pound of body weight. But if you're active, he talked about this cool thing called the Galpin Index, because it's Andy Galpin who did the test, who's run the test with his athletes down there at Cal State Fullerton, I think it is. I think it's Cal Poly. Anyway, it's called the Galpin Index, and it is if you exercise or during exercise, how much water do you need to consume? and what they for optimal performance, it should be take your body weight divided by 30, and that's the number of ounces that you should consume every 15 minutes
during training,
while training, sipping, gulping, however you want to do it, afterwards. But I think he indicated kind of during training, so every 15 minutes.
Okay.
And that was fascinating. So that would, for me, if I'm 210 divided by 3, that's about 35 ounces
every 15
Wait
minutes.
a minute. No. So hang on a second. That's 3.5 ounces.
It's a little more feasible.
Yeah. Divided by 30. 210 divided by 30. Yeah, 30.
You have to drink a 32-ounce thing every 15 minutes.
I got to stop and go pee in the middle of my Metcon. It's 3.5 ounces for every 15 minutes. So I multiply that times 4 for an hour, and it basically 12 ounces.
Yeah. That's completely feasible.
Completely feasible. And it is something that I'm working on too, is more water consumption.
Mm-hmm.
But you can overhydrate too. And that's what I'd say. Be careful with hyponatremia, which has actually killed people.
Yeah.
But for me, 3 ounces, 3.5 ounces every 15 minutes is completely reasonable. It seems very smart.
Yeah. And even starting your day off with water.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what it's interesting because that's what he talks about in the podcast.
Yeah. What was it, like the first 10 hours of your day or something?
Yeah.
At least
He wants you to get at least 12 ounces.
My thing is I've got like a 16-ounce cup that I'll just fill up and just slam first thing in the morning before I even have coffee.
Yeah.
It just gets the body started.
He said coffee doesn't count.
No, it doesn't. It's a diuretic.
No, it's not it's not a diuretic. That was interesting. He debunked that myth. Coffee is not a diuretic. It is a stimulant.
Okay.
But it does not
it doesn't go the opposite direction of hydration.
It doesn't. It doesn't dehydrate your body. It doesn't cause you to.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a stimulant, which may stimulate activity in your body, but it is not a diuretic.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting because that's a common misconception.
Yeah.
But anyway, I would say listen to that podcast. It's the Huberman podcast on H2O. Really good. And divide your body weight by 30, and that's how many ounces every 15 minutes during workouts. The Galpin Index. Something new I can geek out on. All right.
Always something, right?
Anything else?
No, just looking forward to this weekend.
Yeah.
Get the Indies going on the quarterfinals.
Yeah, so we'll report back on Monday how that experience was for us. Hope it's a great experience for you guys. Congratulations again to our 26 athletes that moved on to the next level, and especially Nicole and Erin, who we forgot to mention on Friday.
Yeah, mad props.
Yeah, well done. Cool. Thanks, guys.
Till next time.